Welcome to the stream. Um, I'm Zane, the founder of LAN Club. This is Oshin.
I'm Oshin. Nice to see everybody.
So we're running this youth program for youth in the community to get together, bond over some non-traditional sport, esports. We think it can help with social kind of issues that kids are going through. Bullying, isolation, just having groups of people to talk together over something that you both like. It helps make friend groups, things like that. Creates leadership, gives you skills. So our participants today are doing an 8-week program with us, where they learn how to build computers, install software. Then we give them an introduction to esports. They've talked to some of our New Zealand E-Blacks, met a couple of those, JMK King and Rangsi Magic, and now we're into our esports phase. And so we are this is our pilot program, so things happen, things don't always go to plan, like today. We're supposed to be having a 4v4 match, but some of the hardware that we got is not working with us today, so we're doing 3v3 and just subbing out a player. Bear that in mind, and if we get a disconnection through it, we might just have to pause, reset, and get back into it. We want the kids to be able to have full rounds without one being out. So hopefully it should be a fun match for them. They're super excited. And thank you for tuning in. We want to give thanks to our sponsors you can see there. IT Centre, they've helped us out with hardware and just giving me time to go and organise this and get this sorted. So IT Centre is a local IT centre business here in Wanaka, down in Three Parks, if you know where that is. So they're a managed service provider for smart businesses who want proactive management, strategic advice, and real-time support. IT Centre Managed Service Plan is your team of business tech experts, priority support, yes, I'm reading, long-term strategy and expert advice on intelligent tech systems for your business and your team. With one eye on the future, will help your business navigate its way to success by harnessing the power of IT. A managed service plan with IT Centre is proactive, cost-efficient, and strategic approach to your business tech. Basically, what it comes down to, you have the expertise and intelligence of a whole IT department at a fraction of the cost. So get in touch, check them out, www.itcentre.nz. The next sponsor there is Patterson Pits. They have supplied us with some leftover hardware to put these PCs together, and some hardware that I've got over the years to put machines together. So we're working on getting some funding to make this better and have a much better experience for you. We also have Blizzard Entertainment. Blizzard Entertainment has given us the licenses today to play Overwatch. So they gave us a few licenses, so thank you to Blizzard. Shout out if you're watching Blizzard, or you might watch this back. Blizzard all the way. Blizzard for the win. So look, they didn't have to do this for us. We're not a big tournament that's going on and having prize money and things like that. It's really just for the local community, and Blizzard stepped up and gave us some licenses, so we really, really appreciate it. Next up, we've got Dikadata, specifically Justin Tai. He has given us a donation to help kick this program off. Without him, we wouldn't be here today broadcasting, and the kids wouldn't be playing. With his support, we were able to source some keyboards, mice, and headsets. And without those, kids can't participate in esports. So, from the bottom of my heart and the kids, thank you, Justin and Dikadata. Really appreciate it. Next, we got Realm. And I don't know if the kids are watching this yet, but nice surprise for them. Realm VR in Wanaka, they've given us a free session. So, next week, our last session to celebrate, we're all going to be down playing VR games. So really appreciate that. And finally, Freshlink Grocer. They're a local grocer in town. They've been supplying us with fresh fruit and veggies and yogurts and the food that you saw in the intro before, that's all come from FreshLink. And my lovely wife put that all together. We've been consulting with the Esports nutritionist as well. And yeah, FreshLink have been providing all the food throughout the 8-week sessions, 8-week program or 7-week program for the kids, 8 weeks for us. So really appreciate that. And lastly, Oshin's here to commentate. So he's generously given his time as well. So again, bit of short notice. And this is a pilot program, so bear with us with the little mistakes we make through that. But yeah, shall we move on? So we're going to switch to the match details, so you can see we've basically split them up to 2 teams: Team Alpha, Team Bravo, and then we'll kick in after that. Anything you want to say?
Not really. I'm just keen to get involved in this. I've been looking forward to this all week.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right. So let's check out the match details.
There's this, and then there's the chat,
so,
the Discord chat.
We have here a escort match, I believe it is.
Yep, escort.
Yep. In man, it's been a while since I've played Overwatch.
Attackers incoming in 30 seconds.
Name is escaping me.
So this is
very professional and prepared of me.
So gamer 1, we've got Justin.
This is the Gibraltar map.
Justin Lamb and Speedy Boy. He's playing as Bastion.
Bastion, the defending team. Moving on to number 2, we have Isaacal pulling Zenyatta on the defending team as well.
Let's do this, guys.
And on the payload with Reinhardt in front. A very classic. Very
Trying to find
We got Tide on spectate for us today on the subs.
There. Alrighty, so we got Sombra coming in through for the attacking team. So far there's been and with that the support for the defending team is gone, and the attacking team is taking control of the payload. We seem to have so for those of you who are unfamiliar with Overwatch, it is ordinarily played in teams of 5. Today we're playing in teams of 3. Due to player availability and some technical difficulties, which is going to make some very interesting combinations for heroes and team composition.
Oh, he's got someone to the right.
Alright, you have Bastion up top. Sombra is
nice.
making very good use of the translocator ability there, and has hacked the Reinhardt, which is going to completely sabotage the enemy team's defense. Very well done there. And then just took out the Reinhardt. The biggest problem for the attacking team at this point is clearly that Bastion up at the top. Sombra is making efforts to pursue. Unfortunately, that translocator did not work. But is making efforts to come back down and support their Mercy, not wanting to lose the support character and taking out the enemy Zenyatta. Oh. And as anticipated, the Bastion coming behind was a bit of a problem, but the Bastion is unfortunately completely out of position and has no support from any of his teammates. Rhino's coming through, but Sombra is just going to go invisible and move away. This is the kill cam.
Stay back. Stay back.
Zenyatta's moving back through. Hopefully he's going to make the decision to hold back, find a good position, and wait for his teammates. Unfortunately.
Careful! I can't heal you currently.
Yeah, I got hacked.
You do the commentating on control.
Thank you. Cheers, Zen. I'm very new to Twitch streaming.
Can you hear me? Yep. Can you see me?
So Zenyatta is seem to be hanging around. Zenyatta Azakel seems to be hanging around the corner, waiting
There he
until.
goes.
Oh, charging up a volley. Hoping to deal some damage, possibly farm some ult charge. Pick on the enemy healer a little bit, and just harass them. Oh dear, he's made himself known to Sombra. And unfortunately was not able to get his volley off in time. It so far does look to me that the attacking team is much tighter on their team positioning as well. They're all staying locked together and making sure that they're all within arm's reach of each other to support each other. Although the Sombra is obviously doing her thing, moving around, skulking in the shadows, and doing her best to sabotage enemy team's efforts to coordinate and defend, she is still staying and ensuring that she is never more than a button press away from getting back to her teammates like that. So it's actually excellent play from the Sombra here, and very restrained play from the Reinhardt, staying on top of the payload and making sure that he's always there. That's really helping this attacking team here.
This is Luke Salipo. His beans.
Beans, of course, I love it.
Watch out for Reinhardt.
Oh my.
Now we got Clutch, Micah.
Clearly doing his job as Mercy.
Nice.
All his teammates seem to be at full health. Oh dear.
I know. One shot.
Yes.
The guy behind us, one shot. Yeah, got him.
Nice.
Unfortunately, the enemy Zenyatta got caught completely out of position there as well. Oh, a Bastion around the corner is not a bad play at all. Not a bad shout, but unfortunately, it just does not seem to work all hold together.
Almost there.
No.
Oh
dear.
Two Reinhardts going at it.
No, the Mercy needs to heal, and thankfully the
Mercy
Reinhardt
was
still
there
won anyway.
doing his job.
Yeah.
Nice one, Micah.
Victory.
Very nice. And a very assured victory for Team 2.
Okay, we're going
Well, they
to...
definitely deserved that victory. They were very tight in their team composition. I was wondering... Oh, and a Mercy play of the game. Very unusual as well. Always nice to see. Oh, let's see what... Oh, dear.
Alright, so...
I'm gonna have to give props to the Mercy player. I believe that is Clutch, Mika Seville.
We're just going to reset, and we'll be back for the next round.
Jesse Herbert. I'm the owner of Freshlink Grocer in Wanaka. Commerce Commission is an independent government-funded entity responsible for reporting on industries in relation to fair trading, anti-competitive behaviour, and laws relating to consumer lending. We produce enough food in this country to feed 40 million people, yet large portions of this country can barely afford bread, milk and eggs, and kids go to school hungry. The issue is that we have two companies in New Zealand, Woolworths and Foodstuffs. They own the 7 largest retail companies for food in New Zealand. These two companies, besides making $430 million of net profit in the last year, they have exclusive contracts to own, or they simply bully smaller players out of growing food, making food, or transporting food around the country to you. For you, the issue is at the till, where you pay higher prices because these two companies refuse to compete with each other at any level. For farmers, they're forced to compete with monocultured agriculture at a large scale. Their crops get vastly less diverse, and eventually they ultimately just get poorer and get sold out to these corporate farms. For New Zealand, we are in an extremely vulnerable position to have our entire food network tied up in just two companies. My suggestion is that we stop looking to the government for the solution. We actually have the power ourselves, and we can take that back into our own hands. We need to cut ties with the 60s philosophy of the mega super warehouse convenience stores. They've stolen our dollars and they've broken our trust, basically. The solution is actually singular with 4 additional parts. The singular solution is that we vote with our dollars. The first part of that is that even if 50 cents of that dollar can go to a local and independent grocer, then make sure that 50 cents does go there. When you're in that grocer, demand that they support local producers and growers. Third part is that you spend your money on those local producers and growers. And then the fourth part is that you invest your money in minimally processed or manufactured foods, because these foods aren't actually food often to start with, and they end up funding laboratories and manufacturing plants, not farmers nor artisans. You'll just have to trust that as you spend your money in greengrocers or farmers markets around your town in New Zealand, that you'll provide them with critical purchasing power. They'll reach critical mass, they can keep their prices down, and they will pass those price savings on to you. And by doing so, we will ultimately just create more competition in the market and keep the duopoly of Woolworths and Foodstuffs honest. If you're a Wanaka local looking to spend that 50 cents per week, you'll find 2 independent grocers in town, Freshlink Grocer on Anderson Road or Organic Whole Foods on Dungarvan Street. Thanks for taking the time to listen to me. Hopefully I've provided you more clarity, and hopefully you feel more empowered that the solution actually does lie within us as well.
And we're back, and already with the payload coming up on the first stop, the teams have switched defending and attacking. Okay, so it's going to be interesting then, because the attacking team absolutely dominated in the last round, which in my opinion was
Stay together
because
and get
of
there
a
as
very,
fast.
very solid hero
Stay
play.
together, just
Yep, and we
stay
can
back,
see
stay
Mercy
back.
Still doing
Don't get
the
sick.
Lord's work here, making sure that she's always hanging around the Reinhardt, there to heal him when he needs it. Bastion is set up in a very classic and some would say cheesy, but I would say effective play. Just sitting on top of the payload with the Reinhardt in front of him, making sure that he essentially mows down anybody who comes too close without actually being able to take damage himself. Oh, but the Reinhardt is coming up on the payload, and the Bastion has not noticed him. But unfortunately, the Reinhardt got too cocky and didn't really have the damage output to kill the Bastion before the Bastion killed him. When in that position, Bastion is known for a very, very dangerous and very quick killing damage output. We can see the Zenyatta here trying to bully the Bastion and hopefully edge him off of the payload. This is also a common tactic because of the long range of Zenyatta's attacks, but unfortunately, Zenyatta was just out of position, away from his teammates.
Stop watching in.
It seems like the attacking team is honestly just trickling in. They're not waiting and grouping up for respawning. They're not trying to regroup in their numbers. They're possibly just trying to farm ultimate charge, which is a very
Waiting
fair
for you guys.
strategy. But and it seems this time they may be grouping up.
Come on,
here.
But
Let's go.
trickling in like that, they're just
I
getting
can
picked
give
off
you
one by one.
a bunch
You
of
can see now
heals,
that
5
They
seconds.
seem to be making a push on the top right, which might work out.
Watch out.
Unfortunately. Oh!
Yes, they got Luke.
Yeah, indeed. Very nice. Enemy Bastion had an ultimate charge and was able to use that to drop on the point and absolutely take them out. They weren't quite paying attention. Got a shot in behind the Reinhardt shield, and it took the entire enemy team out at once. So that's where you can be too grouped up, I suppose. And of course now the attacking team has done the exact same thing, set the Bastion on top of the payload, set into tank mode, and is ready to mow down anything that he sees as soon as possible.
They're planning an attack.
Reinhardt is trying to get close. Oh, and the enemy Bastion is left completely undefended. So the
Enemy's Bastion's gonna have to, get some support there.
Stick together. Justin, wait.
Unfortunately,
I'm with Justin.
It seems that
Justin.
I'm with you guys.
The
Let's go.
attacking team is having a bit of a struggling time managing to stay in formation, which is very, very fair. Though a team kill like that can sometimes help put things back in sync. You respawn and you try to run in to get back into the action, but then as you're on your way there, your friend dies. So it can take a lot of restraint sometimes to, oh dear, mercy.
The same kind of tactic as from up top again.
Yeah, which is very fair. It's probably more likely to work with their team composition. Oh, but the Mercy got caught out there, unfortunately, and let herself fall into the line of fire while she was trying to revive her teammate. Oh dear. The attacking team is now moving the payload again. They're coming up in the second point, so the defending team is going to want to get their stuff together quickly.
Straight up to me. You didn't learn from the last time getting that
Get up there. Nice. Nice.
Yep, and then the Bastion Reinhardt shield combo.
Go.
Goes off. Oh dear.
Look at that guy.
Unfortunately, everybody seems to be dead and hasn't respawned
They
yet.
probably. Isaac,
That's
you
why
good?
you don't blow your load too.
Yep. They're coming.
Thanks.
You see Zenyatta pulling up in the back ranks, trying to attack from range. Clearly got his Orb of Harmony on the Bastion on top of the payload, so he's trying to pull in some of those healing numbers as well. That's very, very good to see. Unfortunately, it was not quite enough. But he's immediately swapped Reinhardt. Oh dear, he needs to get out of there. His teammates are down, and he's making the right decision. He's backing off.
Almost there.
That's excellent to see.
We've got a decent amount of time.
Best to not feed the enemy team ult charge.
Just wait. Wait for Reinhardt. Wait for them.
Go back to spectation.
They're moving it back. Hey, back to that.
So everybody's moving. Oh dear. Defending Reinhardt got a little bit too cocky there, unfortunately. They had a very rock solid defense on the payload, but unfortunately it wasn't going to work like that. Though looking at this, Reinhardt's dead now. There's a main healer on the defending team, so I fancy their chances. Well, I would have fancied their chances better. The enemy Mercy, but the defending Mercy unfortunately moved out of position. Probably hoping to score a quick kill. And now the enemy team has completely fallen over. Reinhardt, pushing Reinhardt, uses his ultimate there to try and dissuade the defending Reinhardt, and it works.
Coming as fast as I can.
The attacking team payload yet again. We can see defending Bastion is hopping up on the final checkpoint, hoping to disassemble the Reinhardt shields from afar, which works. That damage output just is soaked up by Reinhardt's shield and immediately falls down. Oh, but Zenyatta pulls out the ultimate, which essentially renders everybody in his party invincible for a certain amount of time. Oh dear, got caught up. Oh dear, they're completely on top of it now. It seems like this same as the last one. Oh, Mercy's holding point, trying to keep it, but unfortunately loses it.
Victory.
And now that's a victory for Team 1 on the attacking side.
Switch to the sponsor earlier this time.
Well played.
Play of the game.
Welcome to Realm, where anything is possible. Where you can go anywhere, like anywhere. Here. Where you can do anything.
We hope you enjoy your experience. The question is,
Whoa, are you ready?
Yeah, that one. Yeah. I didn't get all this.
Zane, should I start the game? Isaac, did you see my day? I didn't.
We're all unmuted and ready to go. The run video.
I remember stick together.
So many times in parody, so.
And parody, so.
Right. Well, we're in Havana now. This is one of the newer maps on the Overwatch rotation, coming out at some point last year, shortly before the switch from six.
Isaac, make up your mind.
We still need to heal.
Justin.
You can see that they're running the same.
It's like get into action, you know?
Change to a tank.
Oh, we've got a much.
You need to change to a tank.
It seems that which would this be? This would be Team 2, I believe. It seems that they're going for a much damage heavier composition this time. Still going with the classic Reinhardt. It's almost impossible to hold or take a position on a payload or on a control point without a tank. So obviously they understand that. They'll have slightly more healing capability, putting Soldier 76 on their team and a little bit more mobility as well. So this may work out well for them. They're clearly going for a more damage heavy one, running with Zenyatta as their only support character, as opposed to a main healer. As Mercy. If we look at their team composition, we can see a Sombra, a Mercy, and another Reinhardt. I can see that working out quite solidly for them.
They're right there.
The match has started. We can see them moving forward. Defending Reinhardt immediately comes in and tries to... Oh, and very successfully manages to get rid of the other Reinhardt. Hacked by the Sombra, but manages to take out two of the team. The entire team. Jeez. Oh my goodness. Props to the Reinhardts. That's very impressive. Went through on a rampage and took out the entire enemy team. Alright, this Sombra is looking to be tricksy already. I was throwing a locator beacon right behind Zenyatta, hacking him and taking him down. That's pulling the bottom Jenga block out of the enemy team's defense because now they have no support characters and no healing. And now Reinhardt is hacked, so he doesn't even have a shield. Using the translocator to go right behind the Reinhardt, and the Sombra kills the entire enemy team as well. And now the attacking team is moving on the payload. Oh, that was a very exciting start to it. That was a very exciting start. It seems again like this attacking team is very aware of positioning and understands. They seem to have a very strong understanding of their roles in the team, and are making sure to constantly do it. So Sombra already has her ultimate charged and is ready on that EMP. Burns it and uses it to go straight in on the Reinhardt. Oh, excellently done. That is now waiting for the Reinhardt shield push. Very good awareness of positioning and team composition there from the Sombra. Dives in on the Zenyatta, nearly takes him, pursues him down, and I feel like that. Yeah, that's over for the Zenyatta. What a shame. Damn it!
Oh my god!
Stay back, stay back, stay back. Where are you guys?
Tank is swapped to Diva. They're trying different team
hacking one's
compositions
so
now.
annoying.
It's a very risky move though. Once you swap to a different hero, you
I hate
lose
that
the ultimate charge that burns up. And that's one of the most important things to bear in mind while playing Overwatch is both how much you're charging your own ultimate abilities and how much opportunity you're providing for the enemy team to charge theirs. Which is why it's very...
Just be careful when you come out. They're like right there.
Oh my...
Immediately. You
oh my god.
Are, by allowing the enemy team to do damage to you, even if you don't stand a risk of dying, you're giving them charge their ultimate ability, meaning that they're going to get it earlier and give them a chance to make
stay back, Justin, stay back.
Play. The enemy team, the attacking team is pushing through
stay
right
back.
now.
Justin.
Sombra seems to be... Sombra is a very valuable addition to the team.
Always great staying back, Justin.
Second ultimate from the Sombra there.
Hi,
very
come back.
Impressive.
Hi, come back.
Just swap into the attacking Sombra now. We can see very good and solid use of the translocator beacon, able to get out of the fight at a moment's notice and back to healing. And in the meantime, allowing Mercy and Reinhardt, a very solid pairing of healer and defensive tank, to hold a position on the payload, whilst using her own abilities, the invisibility, the hacking, to flank and disrupt the enemy team's attacks. This team is working very well in tandem here, and it shows. Gets out of there immediately. Very solid play. Immediately puts on very solid play with Sombra. Zenyatta's pushed his ult. Oh, and manages to save his team. Very interesting. Will they be able to take position? They're looking down the Reinhardt shield. Reinhardt is pocketed by Mercy, but they dive the Reinhardt and they take him down. Oh, but Zenyatta's teammates need healing. Healed Soldier 76, he's passing the Soldier. Sombra is attacking from the top. Order Discord is on her, so any future attempts by her would be very tricky indeed. And, oh dear. We have also another hero swap from the defending team on the
she makes you
tank
see
role.
so she hacks you.
Sigma.
And it's like a hard character. And she does it like every like 5
Swap
seconds.
from Reinhardt to Diva to Sigma. A very challenging tank to play. One that will probably work out, especially considering that the attacking team strategy seems to be mostly focused on flanking and moving around. That's a tactic that Sigma is quite well geared towards disrupting. So this may work out for them. And indeed, they're holding the payload. They've stopped it right before the last checkpoint, and they're now getting the opportunity to heal up and get their abilities back. Oh, the Sombra EMP goes off.
I'm dead. Be careful.
Oh my, see, Sombra just like, and then she
Sigma is
just
probably introduced into this team composition to try and counter the tricksy Hobbit tactics of Sombra, and it seems to be working. diving in on the enemy Reinhardt and very successfully and effectively getting the...
Stay back. I'm waiting for you guys.
Taken down by the enemy Mercy at the very last, however. Unfortunately, the enemy Mercy, I'm anticipating, is probably going to try and revive that Reinhardt, unless it was too late, which it seems to be. And they're pushing, and the attacking team is now pushing the payload without their tank to the final point. Very impressive there. A good push. Again, good team awareness of the competition. Sigma, I feel personally Sigma is definitely not a bad swap for the defending team, but unfortunately the loss of ultimate charge may end up biting them later on. Sombra again doing her thing, hacking, flanking, disrupting the enemy team's defenses. Essentially teleporting right behind them at the last and finishing the job. Very impressive play here from the Sombra. Beans. Luke Salipo.
Guys, come back to me.
Sombra's dead, and he heals.
It's also worth noting that it is usually a point of flexing if an enemy Mercy decides to take out her gun and start doing damage. Almost unsportsmanlike to start attempting to do damage as a Mercy. I think that gives an indication of this team's chances, of this team's confidence, but I think they may have gotten cocky in the last round after their steamroll victory. Enemy team swapped to D.Va again. Oh, but it may be working out for them. Mercy needs to pull out her heals, but unfortunately her teammates are about to die. Mercy unfortunately was not in the fray there. Oh dear. Well, a very well coordinated push from the defending team, and the payload is theirs once again. Things are looking very, very positive for the attacking team here, but never say never. We'll have to see. That payload is slowly creeping back now. I'm gonna have to see what the Sombra does. And unfortunately, enemy tanks. Oh, enemy is going with a 2-tank composition now as well. That's very, very interesting.
Knuckle.
Overconfidence is a
has the ultimate ready, so this is something that could possibly defend it. If he manages to get onto the point before it, no, he needs to pull his ultimate and jump on it and defend the payload. Unfortunately, he does not manage to contest the enemy team.
It's so easy to like do the payload.
Push it to
Pretty
the end of the round.
Escort it, then you win.
Very, very admirable. Oh yes, of course.
There has never been like a
Speedy
team,
boy
right?
as Reinhardt.
There's never been a team where
that team wide at the very start of the game. Absolutely brutal. Even hacked by the Sombra and still decimates everybody.
I think it's this one.
I can definitely see the Sombra being the MVP of the game there. 29% of match... 29% of match on fire? That's very, very well done. Big props to player number 6, Rufukaka, Jesus the Almighty, as well as Beans 142 in their Sombra play. It was excellent.
9 damage, 2,600. And I did not see heal, and I did not see death.
We're coming out for the next round. So now the attacking team, will we see the trend of the attacking team winning in this round? It'd be interesting to find out. That has definitely been the trend so far. Though the team that wanted to start running the Mercy, Reinhardt, and Sombra combo and sticking to that very, very solidly, as well as running the Mercy, Reinhardt, and Bastion combo the previous game, do seem to be doing very, very well for themselves. Personally, I think they have the teamwork and the coordination to make it work this time. So the attacking team, this time running D.Va and Sigma with a Zenyatta. That's a very interesting choice. Zenyatta may make up for the damage that that's still choosing. Well, in that instance, Zenyatta may make up for the damage that a tank-heavy team with a full support such as Mercy or Moira would be lacking. But he may not have the healing output to sustain the large health pools of his tankier teammates, which unfortunately may pull a pin in the in the player's ability to hold a point, which ideally having a high tank composition would allow them to do. But without enough healing output, it might not be possible. Though that being said, there is a lot to be said for players playing to their strengths. D.Va does have a lot more survivability than other tanks because of this of her eject feature. So you can see the attacking team is running again with a composition not dissimilar to what they ran before. Up we got a Zenyatta, a Bastion. There was Roadhog on tank, but it seems to be gone now. We'll check back in with them in a minute. The defending team, we can see going almost the same, except swapping the tank out for Winston this time. That'll be very interesting to see. The Reinhardt play is always very, very solid, particularly with Mercy in the fray as well. But we'll have to see what they decide to do. As they're going across the setup, let's check in on the attacking team with what composition they've decided to go for. Okay, they have run with Sigma. And this is the attacking team. Well, it's going to be interesting to see then. Sigma is a shield tank much like Reinhardt. For those of you who don't know, you have multiple different kinds of tanks. Overwatch, some are meant to deal damage, some are meant to provide more defense for their players and support. An example of a damage tank would be Roadhog, someone with very, very high damage output. The Hook, which is meant to pull enemy players out of position. It's meant to essentially just dominate with an extremely high health pool on points. Whereas Sigma and Reinhardt are both what you would describe as shield tanks. They have very, very large defensive capabilities that are meant to be able to be shared between them and their team players. Winston is something of a hybrid himself. Unfortunately, he jumps straight out of position there and right into the waiting arms of the Bastion, so gets taken down very, very quickly. Those Sigmas, though, my curiosity is that Sigma's shield is not as mobile as Reinhardt's. For instance, what you can see at the moment, they are both set up on the payload. This is a very, very classic thing it's known as pirate ship, where you essentially set up a Bastion on the payload and have one of the highest damaging heroes in the game just moving through it, defending it constantly. You would often put a Reinhardt up there as well to defend him from any incoming damage. But Sigma's shield, unfortunately, is not as mobile or as repositionable as Reinhardt's, which puts him in a very, very difficult position. And arguably not as well able to do it. Not as well able to combine with Bastion as Reinhardt would. But they're clearly making it work. They're making it...
Where's this attacking team? Where are they?
The attacking team are honestly big. They're rolling through very, very solidly. As you can see Bastion there at range trying to dissuade them from staying on point, but unfortunately the other Bastion just takes them down. And the enemy Sombra. Oh dear. And kill. Wow, impressive.
To its destination.
You can see that Zenyatta is there. Some of his teammates are not quite at full health. You would hope that he would take this opportunity to put everyone back to the very tops of their health pools. But he's very possibly just keeping an eye out and making sure that nobody jumps in as the secondary damage dealer. He does have to be careful of that. Oh, and the Jewel of the Bastion's there. He needs to heal the Bastion. Unfortunately, he doesn't. Oh dear. Well, you can see now whether or not they're going to want to continue pushing with this play, or they're going to stay there. And they're getting hacked, and their defense is unfortunately falling apart quite rapidly. Running out of health, running out of ammunition at inopportune times. But between the Zenyatas, the attacking Zenyatta manages to heal, pulls out his ultimate to try and save the push, which does seem to be working. Everybody's now repositioned back around the payload, and they're starting to move.
Being attacked.
There's someone reselecting their heroes. We'll check back in with them in a minute. I believe that was a Sombra who had just burnt their ultimate, so they won't be losing out on much ultimate economy if they decide to do that. But the attacking Bastion on the payload is making a big difference. Defending team, they were steamrolling last time, but they don't seem to quite be holding it together this time.
Rui Fakaya as Jesus the Almighty.
I love that.
Jesus.
I'm seeing a lot of great gamer tags in this team. I think Jesus the Almighty is my favorite one. It's almost going to allow me to swear on stream, which I've already had a very mindful time making sure that I don't do.
Youth.
Yes, yes. All right, defending Sombra is starting to pull it in again, doing a very, very good job of making sure she keeps within arm's reach of healing all the time. Unfortunately, this Bastion on the payload is making things very, very difficult. The Sombra is now detected, and she's going to have to get out of there quickly. But she gets into a good position and manages to sneak up right behind the Bastion, and before the Bastion knows what's going on, she has disassembled him. And now the defending team has control of the payload again, going invisible and attempting to move it backwards. Alright, that's one push over. Now the
ulti.
Yeah. Load that. These Sombra plays are making a very, very big difference, and they seem to be swinging the game either way in both instances. Excellent hack, excellent, an ultimate hack there, which allows hopefully her teammates to push on the enemy position, taking that out of his sentry mode. Oh, and we have a we have a Roadhog switch, a very high damage output tank. Oh, dearie me.
Is it a trade?
Both tanks down at once there, unfortunately. Defending Sombra still doing her thing, disrupting, setting herself up at the point. So I have to check in again with the attacking team.
Go.
Zenyatta is waiting for his teammates, and the amount of times I've had that happen to me is Zenyatta. Charging up a volley and about to throw it forward, and then one of your teammates walks in front of you and just ruins it. Bastion ultimate has gone off, which seems to put the fear of God into the enemy players, as it well should. There's now nobody on the payload, it's not contested, everybody's standing around fighting each other. Sombra taking out the Bastion, which is going to
I'm waiting for you guys.
put one of the final nails in the coffin of the defending team's position on the payload here. They're now assembling over the payload and moving it forward. Oh dear, the Zenyatta caught completely out of position by the Roadhog. Having been in that position many times myself, I know he didn't stand a chance. Attacking team is a tank swap again. Probably wasting a lot of ultimate charge there. D.Va would be a very, very good option for one of the final pushes on a tank. If you stuck with D.Va for long enough to charge off her ultimate, the self-destruct would clear enemy players off the point completely, very, very effectively. D.Va is now needing to get her mech back, which unfortunately is disassembled, but they have control of the payload. And we see a Reaper swap on the defending team. This is going to be interesting. Probably one of the best things to be done about D.Va, as D.Va on the enemy team, as D.Va is only really that effective at close quarters, and Reaper is unfortunately much, much more effective at close quarters. Oh, and we see a Tracer swap as well. People are clearly trying different heroes at this point. As it comes in, Tracer being a good counter to that, though, but unfortunately I don't think Tracer's going to have time to charge her ultimate. No one's going to have time before that payload arrives.
That's the game.
That's the game.
That's the game for today.
Literally, I was
we're
like,
gonna
okay,
call it
Matthew
quits
could
there.
use teleport, right? And then I'm like, okay, and then
And
I
it's
go to
a
the
completely
like,
even split between the
behind me
teams,
again,
as it turns out.
shoot you a bit more and you teleport.
Personally, though, I'm very much going to have to rep looking at it at the end of it, the Sombra's plays and the Mercy's plays. I believe that goes out to Clutch, Jesus the Almighty, and Beans. Number 6, Jesus the Almighty as Sombra, absolutely. Big ups there.
It's so hard to play as a tank.
Good mindfulness on healing from the Zenyatta as well. Icicle, very well done, but unfortunately wasn't enough to support the team.
So that's the stream for today, guys. Thanks very much for tuning in. The kids, I can see them out there with big smiles on their face. They had a great time. We had a great time. Appreciate all the help and support and the people that came to watch. And again, thanks to the sponsors. That's it. And thanks very much. And hopefully we'll see you next time.
Thank you, guys. It's been a lot of fun.
yeah, and Oshin, great job, mate. Great job.
No, thank you for having me.